If you're reading this, it means I never found the courage to tell you the truth while I was alive. Some letters are written to express love, others are written to ask for forgiveness. But every once in a lifetime, a letter appears that carries a truth so heavy that it changes every memory attached to the person who wrote it. Imagine losing the love of your life, spending years believing you understood why everything fell apart, only to discover that the story you had repeated inside your heart was never the complete story. Somewhere inside an old wooden box, hidden beneath forgotten keepsakes and fading photographs, rested a sealed envelope that had been waiting patiently for years. Nobody knew it existed. Nobody knew what it contained. And nobody could have imagined that opening it would revive questions everyone believed had died long ago. Before we go deeper, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from you, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. The events in this documentary are inspired by documented cases involving hidden letters, delayed confessions, missing documents, and unresolved disappearances. While the story has been reconstructed using fictional names to protect privacy, the emotions, decisions, and consequences reflect situations that have happened to real people across America. It is a reminder that sometimes history survives not inside official records, but inside forgotten boxes tucked away in quiet homes where nobody thinks to look. For nearly 18 years, Emily Carter believed she already knew the hardest chapter of her life. Friends often told her that time heals every wound, but there were mornings when she still woke expecting to hear the familiar footsteps of the man she had planned to marry. His name was Daniel Brooks, a respected architect known for his calm personality, generous heart, and habit of writing handwritten notes instead of sending text messages. They met in Portland during a charity restoration project for historic homes. Their relationship grew naturally over several years, built on trust, shared dreams, and countless evenings discussing the future they hoped to build together. Everyone who knew them described them as inseparable. Their wedding invitations had already been mailed. The church had been reserved. Family members had traveled from different states to attend. Emily had already chosen her dress, while Daniel spent weeks restoring an antique wooden jewelry box that he intended to give her on the morning of their wedding. It was supposed to become a family heirloom, something they would someday pass down to children they dreamed of raising together. Then, less than 24 hours before the ceremony, Daniel disappeared. His truck was discovered parked near a quiet overlook outside the city. His wallet remained inside. His phone was found on the driver's seat. There were no signs of violence, no evidence of robbery, and no indication that he intended to leave permanently. Search teams combed nearby forests for weeks. Volunteers distributed thousands of missing person flyers. Divers searched nearby rivers. Detectives interviewed friends, co-workers, and relatives. Every possible lead slowly reached a dead end. Months turned into years. Eventually, the investigation grew cold. Without a body and without answers, the official record remained painfully incomplete. Some believed he had chosen to disappear voluntarily. Others suspected an accident that left no trace. A few whispered theories that became more unbelievable with every passing year. Emily ignored them all. She refused to let strangers rewrite the memory of the man she loved. She held onto the version of Daniel she knew, the thoughtful man who never forgot birthdays, who spent weekends helping elderly neighbors repair broken fences, and who never walked away from people he loved without saying goodbye. Life eventually forced her forward. She moved into a smaller house. She continued teaching literature at a local high school. She smiled again, though never quite the same way. She donated many of Daniel's belongings to charity, but kept a few personal items stored safely inside her attic. She could never bring herself to open every box. Some memories simply felt too painful to touch. Then everything changed on a rainy Saturday afternoon. Emily had finally decided to renovate the attic after discovering water damage along one corner of the roof. Dust covered nearly every shelf. Old newspapers crumbled at the slightest touch. Cardboard boxes sagged under years of neglect. While sorting through forgotten belongings, she noticed the handcrafted wooden box Daniel had spent weeks restoring before their wedding. She remembered him smiling as he carefully polished its carved edges, refusing to let her peek inside because he wanted it to remain a surprise. She froze. She realized she had never opened it. For nearly 2 decades, the box had remained exactly where she had placed it after the search for Daniel ended. She carried it downstairs, brushed away years of dust, and slowly lifted the brass latch. Inside were dried flowers from the day they first met, several faded photographs, a silver engagement bracelet she thought had been lost forever, and beneath a false wooden panel she had never noticed before, an aged cream-colored envelope sealed with dark red wax. Across the front, written in Daniel's unmistakable handwriting, were only 12 words. If you're reading this, it means I never found the courage to tell you the truth while I was alive. Emily stared at the sentence for several minutes before opening it. Her hands trembled. She later admitted she expected nothing more than a final love letter, perhaps something Daniel had written before their wedding as a romantic surprise. Instead, The first page began with an apology. Not for disappearing, not for leaving, but for hiding something from her since long before they became engaged. Every sentence challenged the foundation of the life they had built together. Daniel explained that years earlier he had witnessed an event he never reported to authorities. He believed remaining silent would protect someone he cared about. At first, he convinced himself the truth would eventually come out without his involvement. Instead, every year that passed made speaking up more difficult. By the time he met Emily, he feared that revealing everything would destroy not only his own future, but hers as well. The confession became more detailed with every paragraph. He described receiving anonymous warnings. He mentioned unexplained phone calls. He wrote about someone watching his home during late evenings. Most importantly, he admitted that shortly before the wedding he had decided he could no longer keep the secret hidden. He intended to tell Emily everything the night before they exchanged vows. But then the letter suddenly stopped. Emily turned the page expecting the explanation she had waited 18 years to hear. Instead, she found only torn paper. The next sheet had been carefully removed. Not accidentally, not damaged by age. Someone had deliberately taken it. The remaining pages resumed several sheets later, but the missing section clearly interrupted the confession. Entire paragraphs referenced information no longer there. Sentences began with phrases like, "after what happened that night," and "once you know what was written before this," making it impossible to understand the complete story. Claire counted the pages repeatedly. One was gone. Only one. Yet it appeared to be the most important page in the entire letter. She searched every inch of the wooden box, hoping it had simply slipped beneath the lining. Nothing. She examined the envelope again. The tear along its edge was too clean. Someone had opened it before. Someone had read the confession years earlier. Someone had removed exactly the page they did not want anyone else to see. Claire suddenly realized a frightening possibility. If she had never opened the box before that afternoon, then who had? And more importantly, what was written on the missing page? And who took it? Emily Carter had always believed that some people entered your life for a reason. She first met Daniel Brooks when they were children growing up in the same quiet American town. They rode their bicycles down the same tree-lined streets, attended the same schools, and shared countless ordinary moments that slowly became extraordinary. What began as an innocent friendship matured into a love that seemed unshakable. By the time they reached adulthood, everyone around them assumed they were destined to spend the rest of their lives together. Friends often described them as the perfect couple, kind, dependable, and deeply devoted to one another. Their dream was simple: a peaceful home, a loving family, and a future built side by side. Emily became a compassionate elementary school teacher, known for her patience and the warmth she brought into every classroom. Daniel earned a reputation as a talented architect whose designs reflected the same quiet thoughtfulness he showed in everyday life. Together, they appeared to have everything. Their engagement brought joy to the entire community, and preparations for their wedding became the town's happiest conversation. From the outside, their future seemed certain, but appearances can be deceiving. As the wedding day drew closer, Emily began noticing small details that never quite fit the life they had built together. Every few weeks, Daniel would receive mysterious phone calls. Whenever his phone rang with that particular number, he would quietly leave the room before answering. He always returned with a forced smile, insisting it was nothing important. Emily wanted to believe him, and because she trusted him completely, she never questioned him further. There was something else. Daniel carried an old, worn photograph inside his wallet. It was faded from years of being folded and unfolded, but he never allowed anyone to see it. Whenever Emily accidentally caught a glimpse of it, he would gently slip it back into his wallet without offering an explanation. It wasn't anger she saw on his face. It was sadness, a sadness that seemed older than their relationship itself. Then there was the strange tradition that puzzled everyone who knew him. Once every year, on the exact same date, Daniel disappeared for an entire day. He never explained where he went or why he always returned emotionally exhausted. Emily noticed the pattern but chose not to ask. She believed love also meant respecting the parts of someone's heart they weren't yet ready to reveal. Sometimes the deepest secrets aren't hidden because of betrayal. Sometimes they're hidden because revealing them would break the person you love the most. As their wedding approached, Daniel seemed different. His cheerful smile became less frequent. His thoughts wandered during conversations, and he often stared silently into the distance as though carrying a burden no one else could see. Emily sensed that something was troubling him, yet every time she asked if he was all right, he reassured her with the same gentle smile she had trusted since childhood. 1 week before their wedding, Daniel asked Emily to meet him at the quiet hill where they had shared their very first kiss years earlier. The evening sky glowed with the colors of sunset, and for a long moment, neither of them spoke. Finally, Daniel reached for her hand and looked into her eyes with an expression she had never seen before. His voice was calm, but heavy with emotion. "If anything happens to me, promise you'll forgive me." Emily laughed softly, assuming he was simply overwhelmed by wedding nerves. She squeezed his hand and told him nothing was going to happen. They were about to begin the happiest chapter of their lives. Daniel smiled, but behind that smile was a goodbye Emily never recognized. The night before the wedding arrived, family members gathered. Decorations filled the reception hall. Guests traveled from across the country to celebrate the couple everyone admired. Emily went to sleep believing that by the following afternoon, she would become Emily Brooks. Morning came. Daniel never arrived. His phone went straight to voicemail. His family couldn't reach him. Friends searched every place they could think of, but Daniel had disappeared without leaving a single explanation. Hours later, police discovered his car abandoned beside a quiet lake just outside town. The driver's door was locked. His wallet remained inside. So did his keys. There were no signs of violence. No evidence of a struggle. No body. No ransom demand. No farewell message. Only silence. Investigators considered every possibility. Some believed Daniel had chosen to run away from his own wedding. Others feared he had taken his own life. A few detectives wondered whether someone had abducted him before he could reach the ceremony. Yet every theory collapsed under the weight of missing evidence. Without answers, the investigation slowly grew cold. Days turned into months. Months became years. The excitement that once surrounded Emily and Daniel's love story faded into whispers and unanswered questions. Friends encouraged Emily to move forward with her life, and eventually she accepted the painful possibility that she might never learn what truly happened to the man she loved. Then, years later, while cleaning the attic of her old family home, Emily discovered a dusty wooden box tucked away behind forgotten belongings. It was unmistakably Daniel's. Her hands trembled as she lifted the lid. Inside lay a sealed envelope, aged by time but carefully preserved. Across the front, written in Daniel Brooks' unmistakable handwriting, were the words that would change everything Emily believed she knew. The last letter of my heart. With trembling hands, Emily Carter carefully broke the seal on the envelope. The paper inside had yellowed with age, but Daniel Brooks' handwriting was as familiar to her as the sound of his voice. Every word pulled her back to the life they had dreamed of building together. The letter began with an apology. Emily, if you're reading this, it means I never found the courage to tell you the truth while I was alive, or before I disappeared. Everything I did was because I loved you more than I loved myself. Emily continued reading, her eyes filling with tears. Daniel confessed that for years he had been protecting someone whose identity he could never reveal. It was a promise he had carried long before the two of them met as children. He explained that the secret was connected to a terrible accident that had happened decades earlier, an accident so completely forgotten that almost no one in their quiet American hometown even remembered it had occurred. The more Emily read, the more questions filled her mind. What accident was Daniel talking about? Who had he been protecting all these years? And why had he believed telling the truth would destroy the future they had planned together? Unable to ignore those questions, Emily decided to uncover the truth herself. She spent days inside the local library searching through faded newspaper archives. She requested forgotten police records that had not been opened in decades. She met with retired detectives who had worked cases long before she became a teacher. Most of them struggled to remember the incident Daniel described, but one elderly investigator finally recognized the details. Many years earlier, a young child had died in what authorities ruled was a tragic accident. The case disappeared from public memory almost as quickly as it had appeared in the headlines. There was no trial, no public outrage, and eventually no one spoke of it again. As Emily dug deeper, another astonishing discovery emerged. For years, Daniel had secretly donated money to the child's surviving family. Every month, without telling anyone, he sent anonymous financial support to help them rebuild their lives. He never sought recognition. He never wanted anyone to know. Emily realized the compassionate man she had loved had quietly carried another family's pain while never allowing it to become his own burden to share. Then something stopped her cold. As she reached the end of the letter, she noticed the pages ended abruptly. The final page was gone. It hadn't fallen out with age. It had been carefully removed. Someone had opened the envelope before she ever found it. Someone had taken the last page. Emily stared at the empty space where the paper should have been. Who had read Daniel's final words before she did? More importantly, why would anyone want to erase the ending of his confession? Determined to find the missing piece, Emily continued searching for answers. Weeks later, an unexpected phone call changed everything. A retired postal worker asked to meet with her after hearing about Daniel's letter. He had spent decades delivering mail throughout their hometown and remembered something that had never made sense to him. Only a few days before Daniel disappeared, he had personally delivered another handwritten envelope addressed exclusively to Daniel Brooks. The return address belonged to an elderly woman living several states away. Emily immediately tracked her down. The woman welcomed her inside a modest home filled with old family photographs and quietly admitted she had been waiting many years for someone to ask about Daniel. With tears in her eyes, she revealed a truth Emily had never imagined. Daniel had never intended to abandon her. He had never stopped loving her. Someone had been threatening to spread a false story that would ruin both of their lives forever. The accusations were completely untrue, but Daniel believed that once the rumors reached the public, Emily's career, reputation, and future would be destroyed alongside his own. Faced with an impossible choice, Daniel made a heartbreaking decision. Rather than watch the woman he loved become the target of lies and hatred, he chose to disappear. He believed losing him would hurt Emily less than watching her life be destroyed because of him. The elderly woman reached into a small wooden drawer and carefully removed a single folded sheet of paper. It was the missing final page from Daniel's letter. She had kept it all those years because Daniel had begged her to deliver it only if Emily ever discovered the truth. Emily unfolded the page with trembling hands. There was only one sentence. "Never spend your life looking for me. Live the life I always dreamed for you." For a long moment, Emily couldn't speak. The mystery that had haunted her for years finally had an answer. Daniel hadn't disappeared because he stopped loving her. He disappeared because he loved her enough to sacrifice his own happiness for hers. Days later, Emily returned to the large oak tree where Daniel had once told her he wanted to grow old beside her. It had always been his favorite place in town, a place where they had shared laughter, dreams, and promises of a future that never came. She gently placed the last letter of my heart beneath the tree and whispered through her tears, "I finally know why you left, and I forgive you." As the wind quietly carried the fallen leaves across the ground, it felt as though years of unanswered questions had finally found peace. Perhaps some mysteries are never solved by evidence alone. Sometimes, they are solved by understanding the depth of another person's love. Sometimes the greatest love stories are not remembered because two people spent their lives together. They are remembered because one person quietly sacrificed everything without ever asking to be understood. Now the question belongs to you. If you had been Emily Carter, would you have searched for the truth for all those years? Do you believe Daniel Brooks made the right decision by protecting the woman he loved, even if it meant losing her forever? Or should love always be built on complete honesty, no matter how painful the truth may be? If this story touched your heart, share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear what you would have done if you were in Emily's place. And if you enjoy emotional mysteries and unforgettable stories like this one, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next story that stays with you long after the screen goes dark.